What's up? I'm Aaron. This is Crank and Yank Garage without the garage. I'm gonna get right into it. So, key factors when considering getting a classic or a muscle car. Are you willing to work on it? Do you know how to work on it? Are you mechanically inclined? Even if you're not super familiar with the platform, are you mechanically inclined? Big question there. And if you are you willing to work on it? If you're not, are you willing to take it to a shop? Because if you don't fix it, probably ain't gonna be running. What's your budget look like? Because when getting one of these cars, probably the more money you spend, the better off you're gonna be. The nicer car you're gonna get. It just goes with buying any car, but especially a muscle car. So that's a big one. You know, $3,000 to $5,000, you can get a decent running driving car. So that's what I got here. It's about a $5,000 car, which is not much when it comes to the classic cars. Classic cars can go well north of 100 grand, depending on if you're wanting something classic, or like they can go north of 100 grand easily, you know, especially if you want something custom. What do you want to do with the car is a big one. Like, especially, you know, if you just want a car to run and drive, just get a cheap one. Something you're going to work on. It's going to be, you know, a project. There's going to be things you have to do. You can tune up, oil changes. Parts can be pretty hard to find for them, but some of those cars are pretty expensive. So if you're already getting into, you know, an expensive car, you should probably have the money to fix it. And it kind of goes with anything. Or, you know, if you're broke and you just happen upon something that works for you, just know you might have trouble, you know, getting those parts. But if you're going to take that leap, you probably already know what you're kind of getting yourself into. So these cars are old. This one, it's 42, so things are going to break. Just yesterday, passenger window went out. Put it down, went for a drive, parked it, and then I had to move it. So fired it up, window didn't go back up. No signs that it was going out, it just went out. Took it out, tested it. It's just bad. I'm guessing the windings in it broke or something inside the electrical motor. I pulled it all apart. And these regulators are kind of a pain to deal with, so are definitely probably more cons than a modern car. Fuel mileage is probably going to be worse even on a small 4-cylinder of that era. A lot less safety equipment compared, you know, most of them don't have airbags. If you go back old enough, they don't even have seatbelts. So, and a lot of the glass is different. It's double layered instead of like shatter resistant, so it can break off in big plates and be dangerous. Generally, they are less reliable because just the way they were made, you know, clearances in the bearings and stuff like that. A lot of the transmissions don't have overdrive, so they're not so happy, you know, going 80 miles an hour down interstate. So you can be dailying it just into town, or are you going to take it on trips? So depending all what you want to do with it is what you're going to spend. If you want, you know, a super solid rebuilt car, you're going to spend a lot of money. You're going to spend a lot, generally. If you just want something you can drive back and forth to work, enjoy, and then, you know, be able to mess with it, modify it, you can get something cheaper, because then, you know, you just want something, you want to find something with good bones. So when and if you find something you want to buy, when you go to look at it, I'm going to show you some things that you should check to make sure you're getting a decent car, or at least you get some money knocked off and you're not overpaying for something. All right, so this is the inside of my wagon, and don't worry that I did all that. So you look at a car, you want to verify mileage. Mileage doesn't really matter, especially if you're going to be working on it, and, you know, depending on what kind of tools you have and how far you're trying to get into a project, you want to check the mileage. Ask them what mileage it has, and then see if if it makes sense. Because, you know, somebody says, oh, it's got 15,000 miles on it, and you see 29 there, and the car's kind of beat up, it's probably got 129. Other thing to check interior is if things work, what doesn't work, because that can lead to a bigger issue. So, you know, wiper motors don't work. Some of those can be really hard to find, or even an arm. I got a buddy with the El Camino went out. He can't find the arm for the El Camino, or it's very pricey for just, it's like $100+ for just the arm. You definitely want to make sure all your lights work, because especially with old cars, it can be a real headache to check all that stuff. High beams, low beams, does the AC or heater work, or has it been removed? You know, then it won't matter. Easy to check cigarette lighter if you got a cigarette lighter in there, but I do not. This one, I checked the blower with it running, and it does not work on high, but it does work, so I don't care. The radio works, though the speakers sound like stuff. And almost nitpick it, because you're gonna have to deal with this car if you really like it. You're gonna have to live with it. So do you want to deal with them? And then if you don't want to deal with them and you want to fix them, then try to get some money knocked off, especially if it's an inconvenient item. Say like, oh, the headlights don't work. It could just be headlights, or it could be wiring, it could be switches. You're gonna have to chase all that, so it could be a headache. Try to get some money knocked off. Any of the glass broken. No, the window's down. Check the tires, see if they're dry rotted, see if they're flat, and then we'll come and check the date on them, which this one's backwards, but it should have a DOT number, and then it should have letters, and then it'll have a number, 4 numbers grouped together. This one's got it here. This is a mismatched tire. So it's the week of the year. So this is a 38th week of 2023. I don't know what month that is. I don't care. I just know these were made in 2023. There's no dry rot. They look pretty good. They look safe. Also, another thing, especially like tires, brakes, things like that, you want to make sure the car is safe, especially if you're going to drive it home. You don't want to go get something and then crash it on the way home. That'd be the worst. It would be awful. On classic vehicles, the way the hinges are, especially the pickups, you'll get play. You can see it move just a little bit. You'll get some play in these, and the pins go bad, and it'll start wearing. And then the door, as soon as you open it, the door will drop. But this one's pretty good. So a lot of the times you'll open them and you'll feel them drop. That needs a new pin kit. Figuring out what motor it is versus somebody just telling you could save you a lot of money, because if they're like, oh yeah, it's a 383 stroker, which is usually a performance engine, versus a stock 305, it's gonna make you a big difference. Check the rad hoses. This is upper, nice, fairly firm. That one's good. And then you need to keep an eye out for things like this. So it's smaller here and it gets fat and it's very, very soft. This hose is going to let go. I don't know when, but it is extremely soft, and you can feel how thin it is out here and like how ballooned it is. So this will be an issue. I'm going to have to fix this. Check for leaks. I'd recommend bringing a flashlight. You can check here by the valve covers, see if there's any leaks. At the heads, which isn't super common. Intake likes to leak sometimes, or between the runners. Timing cover and the front seal down there, which is hard to see from here. But if you meet them, then I could recommend, especially if you're spending a lot of money on something, is meet the car in its natural habitat. Try to see it where it usually parks, where it usually sits. That way you can tell if there's big oil spots under it, or different coolants, fluids, whatever. You can kind of see how it lives its everyday. If you meet somebody somewhere, there's good side to that and there's bad side to that. You can see if the car operated and made it that far, but also you don't get to see the car in its like daily environment, and you can miss a lot of stuff, especially if they took it to a car wash, degreased it, sprayed the engine bay out, got rid of all that grime and gunk, And another massive thing to look for after, you know, you figured out vehicle runs and drives, stops, everything works that you want it to work, that you need to work, you want to check for rust. That can make or break a car. So I do have a little bit of rust on this car, and I'll show you. Just right in there, up in the wheel well. Doesn't transfer over, but you can see it. It's hard to see from the top with the battery there. You wouldn't see it. You would not see it. Usually, rust will happen in the rockers here. These ones are nice and solid, though. In the bottom of the door, which this does have some surface rust in the bottom of the door, because sometimes these drain holes here, wherever they're at, there's some drain holes in the bottom of the door. They'll clog and the water sits in here, which just does have surface rust, but they're solid. Hurts to look if it's a sedan in here. Nice and solid. B-pillars are nice and solid. Depending on, you know, truck or car, they like to rust up in here, and especially around the wheel wells and inside of the wheel wells. In the lip right there. Old cars have issues. They just have them sometimes. You figure that out. So there's certain things you want to keep on you. I don't have it in here currently, but no, it's up front actually. 4-way. Take the wheels off. I keep extra spark plugs. These are used just in case, because you never know. It leaks oil, so I keep oil in here. It's never been a huge issue, but and then on the other side, because this is a wagon, I've got coolant down there. I usually keep a little toolkit in here with some wrenches and stuff, ratchets, sockets, things of that nature. Just because you never know what happens with an older car. We'll be prepared. Speaking of that, I probably need to put my jumper cables in here. If you don't enjoy cars and you're just in it for the style, expect to spend some money. And you probably won't stay in it that long if you don't love the car, just because they can be troublesome until you get them lined out. And if you're not willing to put the work in, then you're probably just going to get rid of it and lose money on the thing because you couldn't fix it. It can be risky to buy something like this, but I kind of did my diligence when I bought this. I made sure it ran. I made sure it drove. It wasn't leaking anything. When I did finally, I traded it for my old car, and I got the title. I drove away. It started raining. I was like, oh man, I didn't check. I didn't check if the windshield wipers worked, but thankfully they did. And then somebody spray painted this car. Had overspray all over the windows. I couldn't see. So the wipers did nothing to clear it off for me. So I couldn't see. Had to go to O'Reilly's, get a scraper, scrape the paint off so I could see. Defrosters weren't working. So I had my kids and everybody in the car. And so it was kind of steamy in here, just from everybody breathing. And it was kind of a rough ride home, let's just say. So be smart. Make sure you do your due diligence. Just make sure you go prepared. Go prepared. Whether with information into what you're buying, that way you don't get ripped off, or, you know, you buy something because you're stoked on it, and then you get a few miles down the road and it blows up, or it breaks down, because it happens, and then you have instant buyer's regret or remorse, and you're like, oh, I want my money back. Well, that's not how it works. You made the deal. You shook the hand. It's your car now. You're stuck with it. So that's the hard truth of getting into classic or muscle cars. But it's worth it. I think it's worth it. It's cheaper than a new car payment, and they're funner.